Oh, Canelo, you puta.
And this fucking YouTuber. I just fight real fighters.
And you call me a YouTuber, but you've never had a boxing match as big as mine. I promise you one thing, Canelo. Any fight that you do this year, mine will be bigger. Canelo, I have the $200 million for you. Easy money. Jake Paul versus Canelo. Let's get it done. This is what the fans have been waiting for. This is the biggest fight that can possibly be made in boxing. Canelo said he's down on the phone, so we're gonna make it happen. I have the $200 million, and I think that's gonna be the next fight. So sign the contract, Canelo. Much respect to you. Let's make the biggest fight in boxing.
Jake Paul just told the whole world that he wants to fight Canelo Alvarez. He said he has $200 million ready and called it the biggest fight possible in boxing. And everyone who watched Anthony Joshua break his jaw in 2 places 5 months ago blinked twice, leaned back, and asked the same question. Is this actually happening?
Me and you have a lot of similarities. How much money did he want? Canelo wanted $200 million. One day we make a good fight. Until then, we could be friends.
Would Canelo be the next fight, finally? Would that happen?
If he's not a... It's not about how long you've been doing something. It's about how good...
Here is the thing you need to understand before anything else. 3 weeks ago, Jake Paul was on a podcast questioning whether he would ever fight again. He was talking about titanium plates. He was talking about medical clearance. He was talking about doctors telling him they did not want him in a boxing ring. And now the same man, the same person who drove himself to the hospital in Miami with his jaw out of place and his teeth knocked sideways is sitting in front of a camera offering Canelo Alvarez $200 million.
Some new scans here in a couple of days of the jaw to get an update on the healing process. We'll see what my doctors say. I think I'll be able to get a more accurate time frame, or can I even fight again? That is definitely in the realm and possibilities of things. It does feel a lot better as weeks go by and time goes by, but I definitely need to get cleared first to be able to spar. But I'm sort of staying in shape. Just I'm always in the gym pretty much regardless, so just staying in shape and enjoying
That is not a normal turnaround. That is the Jake Paul story in its most concentrated form. The drama, the doubt, the reversal, the announcement. It never plays out the way anyone expects. And yet somehow here we are. To understand what makes this announcement so remarkable, you have to go back to December 19th, 2025. Miami. Jake Paul stepped into a ring with Anthony Joshua, a former 2-time unified heavyweight world champion, and called it the biggest upset opportunity in sports history.
A show for the fans. Let's go to war. Men have done crazier things throughout human history. This is the modern day gladiator sport. This is what we're here to do, is fuck each other up, and I'm ready. I want his hardest punches. I want there to be no excuses when it's all said.
He genuinely believed he could win. You have to give him that much. He trained for it. He prepared for it. He had already beaten Mike Perry and Ryan Borland and Ryan Garcia. He thought the momentum was real. But Joshua was a completely different level of problem. And before the fight, Joshua made that absolutely clear. Fight, we are licensed to kill.
We're licensed to kill. I'm sure many people don't understand it, but this is what my job is. And I just enjoy what I do. Whatever happens, happens. As long as my hand's raised, that's what's important, right? Respectfully. That's just the mentality we have to have as fighters. I don't know if any other fighter thinks that way. Maybe they're a bit more tame. But the things I watch and the way my mind works, when you're in that ring, it's a dangerous place to be and anything can happen. And you hope your opponent leaves the ring safely, but if they don't, you still have to go to bed at night knowing.
Joshua did not hold back. He stood at that podium and told the world that his job is to cause serious damage. He had a license and he intended to use it. The boxing community mostly took it as standard press conference theater, the kind of intense talk fighters use to build drama and sell tickets. But Joshua was not performing. He was giving a factual statement about what was coming. The first 4 rounds were surprisingly quiet. Joshua was patient. He circled. He measured. He let Paul make the first move and reacted accordingly. Some people watching at ringside thought Paul was holding his own. Some in the crowd started to wonder if Joshua was taking him lightly. Then the 5th round arrived and Joshua turned it on. He put Paul on the canvas in round 5. He put him down again. By round 6 it was over. Joshua landed 48 punches across the whole fight. Paul landed only 16. The numbers tell the story of a man being hunted. A man who had taken on more weight than he could handle. A man who stepped into range of one of the most powerful punchers the heavyweight division has ever seen and paid the full price for it.
Hey guys, day 2 in the hospital. Jaw's busted from the fight. You could probably see it. I hope I gave you what you wanted out there. Enjoy it. I'm healing up and I'll be back soon. Let me know who you think I should fight next. Drop the name and we'll make it happen when there's...
The footage Paul posted afterward was hard to watch. His jaw was clearly out of place. His teeth were misaligned. Several molars had shifted. He had broken his jaw in 2 separate spots. He drove himself to the hospital in Miami. The doctors put in 2 titanium plates.
Is there any part of you that's like, this may not be worth it anymore? I did it. I proved my point. This is not fun. Let me go focus on other parts of the business and other parts of your life.
Yeah, those thoughts have definitely come up, but I'm not done. Like, I can just feel it in my spirit, my soul, my heart that I have more fights left and unfinished business in my mind. And injuries are a part of any sport. I think potentially this could be a good outcome. Like you could tear an ACL and be out and keep on tearing it again. So it's just a part of any sport, and I definitely don't feel like I'm done and want to keep on fighting.
And when the medical team looked at the recovery time, they said 4 to 6 weeks for initial healing. The weeks that followed were unlike anything Paul's fans had seen from him before. There was no promotional video, no announcement of a next opponent, no trash talk aimed at anyone. Just silence. Then in May 2026, Paul reappeared on the Ariel Helwani show and said something that made the boxing world freeze. He said that for him, the situation was over.
Canelo, I have the $200 million for you. Easy money. Jake Paul versus Canelo. Let's get it done. This is what the fans have been waiting for. This is the biggest fight that can possibly be made in boxing. Canelo said he's down on the phone, so we're gonna make it happen. I have the $200 million, and I think that's gonna be the next fight. So sign the contract, Canelo. Much respect to you. Let's make the biggest fight.
He said the chance of never fighting again was real. He said he was waiting on new medical scans. He said his doctors did not want him back in the ring. He said he could not spar. He said he was training lightly and staying active, but that his return was truly uncertain. This was not the Jake Paul who called out Tyson Fury. This was not the Jake Paul who held press conferences in Times Square. This was a man sitting with the real consequences of a real fight. And for the first time in his boxing career, it looked like the story might actually be finished. Every major boxing outlet spent time genuinely asking whether Jake Paul's career was over. Not because they wanted it to be, but because the medical reality he described, titanium plates in his jaw, missing teeth, and being unable to spar months after surgery, painted a picture of a man whose body had told him something very serious. And then within 48 hours of that interview going viral, Jake Paul posted a video calling out Canelo Alvarez. He said, "Canelo, I have the $200 million for you."
Canelo, Crawford, all of these guys can just take a ticket. We'll see who I want to fight. I mean, he's not retired, bro. You guys have seen this millions of times in boxing. He's not retired. I mean,
$100 million. That was the number he put on the table. He said he had spoken to Canelo directly, privately, on a call. He said Canelo was interested. He said the fans had been waiting for this. And then, almost like the broken jaw conversation had never happened, he leaned into the camera and said, "Canelo, this is easy money. Let us make it happen." The shock was immediate. Less than a week after saying he might never fight again, Jake Paul was offering the largest guaranteed payout in the history of the sport. That is the thing about him that is almost impossible to fully explain. He moves past setbacks faster than almost anyone in the game. Not necessarily in a healthy way and not necessarily in a way that suggests the injury is actually fixed.
To be after that last match.
One of the best in the history of boxing.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna cry that day.
That day?
Yeah, a lot.
Why?
Because I'm gonna miss boxing so
You'll miss
much.
it. Yeah.
That moment when you walk into the ring and hear all the people screaming and singing that song you put and everything, I'm gonna miss that moment.
But this is not even the first time Canelo's name has come up in Paul's world. Before the Joshua fight, Paul was already listing him. Tyson Fury was on that list. Terence Crawford was on that list. Canelo was on that list. It was easy to ignore at the time. Paul was getting ready for Joshua, so talking about other names felt too soon. But it shows you that Paul has had this in his mind for a long time. The Joshua fight was never the final goal. It was supposed to be a stepping stone. Saul Alvarez is not Anthony Joshua. He is something completely different.
In a mockery of the sport solely for money, okay? And now he's offering $200 million to first ballot Hall of Famer, 4-division champion, 2-time undisputed super middleweight, the most decorated Mexican fighter in boxing history, superstar, first ballot Hall of Famer, Saul Canelo Alvarez, who has 63 wins, 3 losses, 2 draws, 39.
Canelo is seen by nearly every expert in boxing as the best pound-for-pound fighter in the world. He has held world titles in 4 different weight classes. He has fought and beaten Gennady Golovkin twice, along with Caleb Plant, Jermall Charlo, and Billy Joe Saunders. He is technically perfect, physically outstanding, and mentally solid.
Of my emergency jaw surgery, having my breakfast here in the hospital. Basically, I was at the Olympics and the plates and screws that they put in my mouth all started to come loose. One of the little screws came out of my mouth. I had to spit it out, and they were super worried about getting it infected, so we had to pull them out right away because essentially it was just this open wound sitting there in my mouth where there's food and bacteria. So it turns out, kids, that if you don't listen to your doctors when they tell you not to do anything for 2 months and you do a bunch of things, the screws and plates will come out of your bone. Don't be a dumbass like
Jake Paul said, "Just got out of my emergency jaw surgery, having my breakfast here in the hospital. Basically, I was at the Olympics and the plates and screws that they put in my mouth all started to come loose. One of the little screws came out of my mouth. I had to spit it out and they were very worried about it getting infected. So we had to take them out right away because it was basically just an open wound sitting in my mouth where there is food and bacteria. So it turns out, kids, that you do not listen to your doctors when they tell you not to do anything for 2 months and you do a bunch of things, the screws and plates will come out of your bone. Do not be a dumbass like me."
He is not entirely wrong about the commercial case.
Canelo, I'm coming, my puta.
Alright everyone, stay tuned for the latest in boxing news, highlights, events, and stories. Subscribe to and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Be sure to watch our other videos too. Until next time, take care and stay safe.